What do we owe this pleasure? You guys our program today. The youngest son. Drum About a year and a half, 2 years, she started her education or expanding, get more business.
Good morning, welcome to the Rotary Club. 2026, great proud day. Let's please rise for the national anthem.
Please join me.
To the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dan Sharp, will bring us in.
Let me pray. Father, we just thank you for a new year in Rotary. We just thank you how you blessed our club, and we just ask that we be a blessing to our community. Or may our motto of service above self be our mission, serving others, making their lives better. We just thank you for the opportunities to do so. Lord, for WRC and this facility and the food that they prepare for us each Monday, we are grateful. Thank you for our leadership here. And Lord, we thank you for Clay speaking to us today. Just thank you for what he's done with and for our city. And we're grateful. You are a good God, and we give you thanks today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Dan. Family Rotary, Terry Jones.
Thank you, President. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you got some exciting plans for the year. Happy birthday wishes today to Judge Michael Conaway on January the 5th, and Tim McCraney on January the 11th, and celebrate anniversaries with McDowell, Pinkers, and Andrea on January 6th, along with Matt Langford and Anna Claire on January the 9th. Hope you all have a great week. Thank you.
Introduction guest, busy Rotarians. Dr. Kevin.
Well, good afternoon and Happy New Year. I think the peach cobbler may have me break one of my New Year's resolutions just right out of the chute. We have two guests today of our club, Daniel Lewis. If you would stand, Daniel, we're happy to have Daniel with us. And also a member of our club today, John Paul Turner. Happy to have John Paul with us. Thank you. Mouthful. And then a guest of David Hanks is Julie Gonzalez. We're happy to have all three of you with us today. Thank you.
See who owns me today. Winning number is 645. 645. All right, we have 888 points today.
Oh, I got two, and they're both wrong.
Now to close, now to close. Try again next week. Thank you.
Good job.
I tried.
Thank you, Tyler. Just one or two quick announcements. David Hanks, if you will please come forward.
Thank you, President Allen. As Terry announced a couple of weeks ago, I am retiring, or I am officially retiring now, as of the first. And I just wanted to take an opportunity because I know so many of y'all have an interest in the food bank. It was started by Rotarians, it's supported by Rotarians. We have board members in the audience. We have such an amount of support from this Rotary group that I just wanted to introduce our new director. This is Julie Gonzalez. Julie has been with us for 19 years. She worked a variety of different positions, Comcast, worked with Bob Hendricks out at the CVB, Books A Million, but she's been handling a lot of the public relations and grant writing for us, but now she's going to come on as CDO. She's married to Juan, which she met when she worked at Comcast. She's a homegrown girl. She's been here ever since she was born at the old hospital.
SAMC?
Yeah, okay, SAMC. And she has two children and two grandchildren. So I just wanted y'all to see Julie, and yes, she's gonna join Rotary, as soon as Rick can get her orientated. But I just wanted everybody here to see the new face of the food bank and realize it's gonna be in great shape going forward.
Before we get into the program, I just want to thank the club and everything that you've done for 2025. It was a great year. Multiple activities in ways we've served the community. I'm very proud of this club and what you've done. Every single one of you have risen to the challenge, service above self. At this point, and we're looking forward to a fantastic 2026. At this time, I'd like to turn the program over to James Etheridge.
Thank you, President Allen. I'm glad to introduce you today our speaker for the day. Clay Dempsey is the Performing Arts Director for the City of Dothan and an International Association of Venue Managers, which goes by AVM. AAVM. He's a certified venue professional with a native of Ashford, Alabama, go Ashford, and now lives in Dothan. Clay holds his BA and MBA from Auburn University, and I forgot about it. That's why you said you can't believe I still have Alabama playing on my phone. Forget. All right. Clay holds his, like I said, his BA and MBA from Auburn University and has professional experience in media, live events, and venue management, including the Philadelphia Film Festival, the Crossing at Big Creek, and Bulls, Bands, and Barrels. Clay serves on the Visit Dothan Board of Directors, Wiregrass Substance Abuse Board of Directors, Art and Public Places Board of Directors, and the Leadership Dothan Steering Committee, and is committed to using the arts to strengthen culture, connection, and economic vitality in Dothan, especially downtown. Clay is married to Randy Bass Dempsey, and they attend Church of the Crossing. And I'll say I've been knowing Clay for a long time, him and his family, and I'm so proud that the last few years we got to know each other even more. And I'm so proud of what he is doing for this community, not just for Dothan, but it means so much to the Wiregrass area. So please make welcome Clay Dempsey, Performing Arts Director of City of Dothan. Oh.
How's everybody doing today? Can you hear me? All right, first, thank you for having me here. This is something I wanted to do for a while, so I turned 50 next week. So in order to not miss out before I'm 50, I'm really honored to be here. Thank you guys. All right, we're gonna get going. I'm not gonna keep you too long. I tend to go long sometimes. Kind of gonna go over who I am, what our department is, what we do, how we program, what our facilities are, and then kind of look into the future. Okay?
The down area.
Okay, so we went over some of this. Who am I? I'm Clay Dempsey. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Performing Arts Director for the City of Dothan. I went to Auburn University for a couple degrees. Just recently got certified to be a venue manager by International Association of Venue Managers. For somebody like me that's self-taught at everything, it was a kind of a tough test. It took me about a year. Again, everything I learned, I pretty much self-taught. I went out and learned it. If I wanted to go learn how to do a concert, I wanted to go learn why this works this way. I usually put myself in the mix so I can actually know how to do the job and understand in a position I want to manage and all those things.
Down here.
Okay, so I've worked in various forms of entertainment, from media to magazines, film festivals, concerts, clubs. Worked at the Crossing at Big Creek in 2017, and in 21 after COVID, we had the biggest concerts Houston County's ever had out there in 4 years, 2 year span. Then I began working at the city of Dothan in March of 2023 as an event manager. April of 2023, after being there for 6 weeks, I thought I'd be there a year. I was there 6 weeks. They made me interim director. Didn't know anything about government. Was really nervous, scared. It was a rough year the first year. And then in October of 2023, they promoted me to performing arts director. Okay, this is who we are as my department. So in the city of Dothan Performing Arts Department, I have 16 full-time staff members. That includes me. There's 15 of us. There's a director. I got my event manager, Daniel Lewis, over there with me. We have a business coordinator, an operations manager, production manager, box office, 2 assistant production managers, 7 arena operations workers. These are the people, whenever you see shows happening, I get a lot of credit for it, but without these people right here, I wouldn't be able to do any shows. I'll get one show and I drop it, but without this team around me, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing right now. But they all go fast. They all stay busy. They're all, I thought they would get a break, but they're all really worn out right now. So we also have 73 sporadic event staff that makes up of security, ticket scanners, ushers, operations people, production, concession staff. Everybody you see working at the Civic Center or the Opera House or those facilities, they're city employees. They're not contract employees. They're people we bring in, we train, we put through our customer service, we put through active server, active shooter training for the DPD, we put through stop and bleed through the Dothan Fire Department. We did Narcan training for our staff with ACOM. We've done sensory training. We brought somebody in to help us with some sensory autism training. We constantly rotate our staff every year, so we have a staff that's not only customer service friendly, but also knows what to do with a large crowd in case something happens. The only staff that's not a City of Dothan employees are the concession staff, and that's bar staff. So with that, we send them through alcohol training. It also gives the city a buffer too, with those aren't city employees, those are contract employees, but they're all trained and they all, we have to go through rigorous training once every 6 months. So our facilities, most people are familiar with the Dothan Civic Center, multi-purpose arena, constructed 72 to 74, opened in 75, mixed floor seating, fixed balcony. So capacity at this all seat is around 3,200. If you open the floor up, 3,500, you could probably get more, but you base capacity on size of your exit ways. That's about packing it for Hudson Westbrook. We had 1,800 in the floor. Those were small kids. I think if we did adults, you'd probably look at around 1,500 in the floor safe. Dothan Opera House, if you guys haven't been back over there, that is a phenomenal facility they built up there. The upgrades. They put a $1.2 million AVL system in there, audio video lighting. We do a lot of new things over there. So that was constructed in 1913 to 15, opened in 1915. So it's renovated in 1971 and renovated again in 24-25. It's 590 seats. After May, it'll be down to 588 because we're doing some ADA upgrades to try to bring the facility up. I would like to see some ADA seats that are not just off to the side, but offer some more options. So we're going to give up a couple of seats so some other people will have some opportunities to watch the show for the different location. Porter Park Events Plaza, this is the new space that's across from the Civic Center beside the Opera House. If you haven't been there, I suggest anybody go over. It's not like you're in the city of Dothan. If you're over there at night and you're looking up, it looks completely different. It's a nice space. So we have something at the city called Placer AI, which allows us to track cell phone heat data. So like when you're using an app on your phone, if it says allow my tracking once, allow it. What that's doing is the reason it's giving that for free is it sends data to a company like Placer, and I can kind of track where the cell phone heat is. Since June of opened up, no, we opened up in August. Since we opened up in August, we've had 11,000 unique visitors to the park. At some point, you see people come over and eat lunch. You see people, they just bring their family out, especially during Christmas time, they're all hanging out. And there's one new thing we're going to introduce in January. The city, we've developed, does anybody know what a busker is? Whenever you go to a city, you see people that play music out and they register with the city. So the city is going to allow people to register to busk and play music downtown and get on top of the park or on the stage of the park, but they have to coordinate the schedule through us. No electricity, no amplification, no asking for money. There's rules to some things. We're going to try to get some more arts at the park this year and help some of these community musicians out. Okay, so programming, we get asked about this a lot, what all we do and how we do it at the Civic Center. I'm sorry, there'll be some time for some questions at the end. I kind of want to roll through what I got, but if anybody wants to stop and ask anything, please do. Dothan Civic Center, we take national touring concerts, graduations, banquets, fan expos, professional fairs, local arts groups. In 2025, we had 83 event days. So those days don't count setup days, they don't count practice days, those are just hard event days of some type we had in the building, 83 days. 2025 highlights included Jill Scott, ZZ Top, Swan Lake, Jody Johnson, Hudson Westbrook. We had an anime fest and we had a national wrestling conference. So far in 2026, we had 61 event days. I would anticipate that to be closer to 100 when we get finished. That doesn't include holds. We worked on some holds yesterday. So what a hold means is when an artist or an agent or promoter call you and they ask for a string of dates, they'll say, hey, you have April 10th through April 16th. You put them down for a hold, either a first hold or second hold. Then they go back to the agent and the artist and they start laying out a tour like they do Fred. So, and then Dothan falls somewhere on those calendar days. That's the reason calendar management is so important. And that was a problem when I inherited the Civic Center. Calendar management was really, really important. But you got to have space for Dothan to get stuff in. So that's very important. We talk about the calendar. I go over with my management team all the time what we're trying to land with. 2026 highlights so far include Sadie Robertson, Torn Wells, Bob Dylan, Collective Soul, Southeast Pump Flea Market, Stained, Church of the Crossing is going to take over all three facilities on Easter. Kicks and Cuts, Old 60. I think we may have Earth, Wind, and Fire by the end of the year. There's a lot of stuff we haven't put up there because on our calendar is red. We need it to turn blue or green and we'll announce it. Dothan Opera House, national touring concerts, local arts organizations, national touring theater events. We started showing movies there, in-house developed events. 35 event days since from June of 2025 to December 25, and that's pretty phenomenal. Years prior, there was 10 event days, maybe in 1 year. 2025 highlights, Shaun of the South opened up with 2 sold-out shows, Jamie Lissau, Tyrus, Steve-O, Candlelight, Tri-State Workers Phantom of the Opera, Celtic Angels, A Christmas Carol, Circle Sessions, and then we did our own event where we sold tickets to come see Christmas Vacation. People dressed up like Cousin Eddie. We turned into an interactive thing, and 400 people from the community bought tickets to see a movie you can buy. I mean, you can watch anytime during Christmas for free. But it showed us that people in Dothan want some community and they like being together. It was really great to see. So we're going to keep that one and then add a couple more next year. So far in 2026, we have 41 event days at the Opera House. It doesn't include holds. 2026 highlights, Mark Chestnut, Steve Earle, Menopause and Musical 2, Taste of Ireland, Tri-State Orchestra back, Christmas Vacation. We're going to do Elf and Polar Express this year, Rocky Horror, Tri-State Orchestra, Samantha Fish, and there's going to be other concerts and comedy shows lined up in there. So programming for Porter Park Event Plaza, this is a new space that we spent a lot of time this year trying to learn. We know what we can't do and what we can do. We do know that our team is not good at all-day events with vendors. And I mean, it's a great idea, but we want to get back to concerts. So this year, we've already announced 6 free to the public concerts. We're doing a concert with Driving Brian, a guy named Saxwatch. We're doing a Wiregrass Fest for local musicians, duos and trios. Jasmine Gant, the blues artist, and jazz artist is coming. So we're doing a lot of these free all-ages shows because we want people to go out to the park. And it's like the Opera House. The younger I can get people to the park, and younger I can get them to the Opera House, that's the longer they're going to go, and longer they're going to get accustomed. So book here it is, book for 2026. We have 10 concert series altogether, 3 leisure services festivals, the Loop Arts and Music Festival, 4 movies at the park, and then we're going to do America's 250 celebration and 3 local events. We haven't put a lot of information out on the 250 celebration, but 4th of July does fall on a Saturday this year. So the city of Dothan is going to do theirs on a Saturday. Our Uncle Mike has sponsored us a special kind of light show at the park we haven't put out yet, but it's going to be great. We're going to do a country themed concert we haven't put out yet either. There it goes. Saxwatch, Driving Crime, Pink Beard, Jasmine Gant, Levitt Grant concert starts September 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 28th. And for those who don't know what the Levitt Grant was, the Levitt Grant gives us $28,000 to do 4 concerts a year. Probably next year, probably go up to $32,000. That's a match, so we have to match it. So between us, Live at the Opera, and Art Public Places, we're going to have some great concerts on Thursday nights in September. We're going to beat high school football and college football on Thursdays. And one goal of the park is to drive tax revenue and drive dollars to our downtown businesses. And I think this year we figured out it's really gonna go well. So this is one thing we focus on a lot here with those, and I think people want to remember this is a big piece of my job. So here at Dothan, all we have is a good guest experience. This is how we're getting a lot of these shows. Dothan doesn't have natural tourism drivers like mountains, beaches, lakes, historical attractions. You know what we do have is experience. Experience is not only managing events, but how we treat our guests. That is the utmost important to me, and all my staff over there. I want to make sure everybody is treated with respect. That could be your fellow employee, a vendor coming in the building, an event coming in, and right down to the ticket takers. Because while we don't have a lot to offer in the building, we do have guest experience, and that word does travel quickly. So events choose cities and venues not only for financial reasons, but also based on the experience they have. The world we work in is so small with promoters and agents that one of them had a bad experience, and I promise you it's going to heal you up for a couple of years. These guys all talk to each other. You'll know they talk to each other because you'll see you'll do a show with one event or one promoter, and then 2 weeks later, another promoter from that same company will email you about a different show, and he has no clue who you are, but he starts the email off with, "Hey Clay, how's it going today?" So he's already heard, he's already talking. Now he wants to bring his show to them. So a positive experience builds a relationship between the venue and promoters. Relationships build networks. And I'm sure all you guys know it's the same in your business too. Only way we're doing what we're doing right now is networks. And our networks keep growing and growing and growing, so the opportunities keep building. So for venue managers, stakeholders, and a city facility, reputation built from experience is what matters most. It's not about, on my end, I like trying to cover our costs, but for me, I want to figure out what our reputation is out there. What sets us apart from how come I can get this show over Pensacola or Albany, and what the difference maker is. And most of the time it's going to be experience and also the execution that we do in shows. So securing events for Dothan, over time, I believe that our reputation will matter more than our sense of job. Dothan is a C market, that's a fact. Dothan is a routed city. And by that, I mean, think of it like you do freight. So that's the reason we've done a show on every night of the week. We've done it on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's no rhyme or reason to this because pretty much every tour has to come through Dothan. Whether you're going from Atlanta to Florida, Texas to Florida, at some point that is our sweet spot. And even if you look back to where the Civic Center was, we look at the history of the Civic Center when I first got there, the late 70s, early 80s. That looks like when the building was really, really taking off and there's a lot of stuff there. They were doing the same thing. They had shows every night of the week. They had a lot of Sunday shows. They had a lot of Tuesday shows. So it's the same philosophy. I've taken the same philosophy that, who was running the 70s and 80s. And I see Mr. Grant back there smiling because I see his family, but taking the same philosophy, it's the same thing rings true. Nothing is on the way to something. So that's what we're trying to capitalize. So our facilities are tools at the end of the day. You can look at it and say, you take a top level approach to it and you can say, hey, we need to make money off this, we need to make money off this. At the end of the day, those buildings are built by the public as tools. So entertainment options add to a city's quality of life, provide access, variety, shared experience, emotional impacts, cultural expression, consistency, and pride of place. Entertainment improves quality of life, but turns the space into a community and a time and memories. We see this all the time. You see people that, they come out to events, you see them making memories, you see them running into people they haven't seen for a while, you see people share where they are, you see people proud of Dothan. And even now, you see Dothan pop up on national tours, whether Atlanta, Florida, Tallahassee, and then people will share stuff and they'll be amazed that Dothan is on this list too. It's Dothan, why Dothan? That post, sometimes they will. And I'll go in there sometimes and I'll just write, why not? Because I firmly believe that we're a big city. I know we're a big city with 200,000 people, and I like to, I really like to boast of that. So our facilities are also tools and economic drivers. Events drive spending and supports local sales, lodging tax revenue. Public facilities generate taxable transactions beyond just ticket sales. Visitor spending occurs across food, retail, and hospitality. Economic impact exists regardless of our facility age, and that's true right now. Our facility is 50 years old, and people are still coming. And when you see it, I wish you can't just stop the tax. I wish you could cut off the tax where I could tell how much tax was spent in the city within a 20-mile radius from the hours of, I don't know, 5 in the afternoon on 11 at night on a concert night. I can't, but I do know that it has impact. Events creates pay shifts for operation, production, and security venues. Wages earned are spent locally on housing, food, and services. This spending generates additional tax activity. Event labor dollars circulate multiple times in the community. So even as that event's going, it's important to understand that most of that ticket rev goes back to the artist. Since MP3s, artist gets 95% of the money. Bob Dylan comes in, he's at probably, I think he's at 175 in sales right now. He'll get 90% of that money. His promoter will get 10%, and then the building is separate from that. So the building, whenever you think about booking shows, there's the building, there's the promoter, there's the agent, there's the artist. It's 4 tiers, and these tiers hardly ever talk to money. I talk to the promoter, he talks to the agent talks to the artist. So what we're in the venue rental facility business, and we work with promoters and try to be the best partners we can to them because we know these markets are so small. So our goal is not to kill promoters when they come in and make a ton of money. Our goal is to cover our costs, make some money, and create some economic impact and some tax relief. when I got to the job, I told them it's really cool to have a building, but it's not cool to have a bunch of hippie buildings. So we got to figure out how to get some stuff in here. So I'll go through this last part. I hope I haven't been going too fast. This is what I was going to run into a little bit. We've had a renovation to the Opera House. We got a brand new park. One thing that's never happened, this Civic Center was built in 1972 to 74. It's never had a major upgrade. It's never had, you still got the same riser seats in there. I promise you, nobody's ever said, man, I really love going to sit down at the Civic Center. I have to sit in those seats. I'm a big guy. Those are very painful to me. I hear them frequently get up. We couldn't find a date on them. I couldn't even find a code on it to do some maintenance on them. I'm pretty sure they're 50 years old. So it does need some modern improvements that we're trying to reset for our next 2 generations. And I'm not saying this is going to happen, but these are just, you have a want list, you have a bucket list. These are things that I feel that we need, because at the end of the day, what matters most when people come to that building is guest experience. Right now, the only thing we're riding on is the shows and how our staff treats people. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot of amenities in the Civic Center. Most of you guys have been. Dr. Young's been there a lot. So, there's not a whole lot to offer. We need some updated safety features. Safety, my guess, is my utmost priority. That's how I know a show did well. I don't look at money. I don't look at anything. If everybody, including the staff, comes in, they leave healthy, they leave safe, that's what we want to see. Then we start talking about everything else. Updated safety features, fire suppression alarm systems, ADA accessibility, electrical systems, security infrastructure. We have this stuff now, but it was built in the 70s, and it's all been just kind of pieced together over the last 50 years. Guest experience, we need some updated restrooms. We don't really have enough restrooms for 3,500 people. Restroom capacity layout, concessions, we need some speed, variety, and visibility. Some people ask, well, we don't serve a lot of stuff at the Civic Center. We don't serve mixed drinks. Everything's in a can, seems like an RTD. It's because there's no drainage system in those concession stands. They weren't made to do what we're doing. So we're doing the best of what we got. We found a workaround for it. Comfortable seating with proper sight lines, zone climate control, and then we want some welcoming public spaces. When people come in, you want to give them a wow factor and just let them know there's somewhere else in the skate life for a minute before they go into a show. This right here is really important. This part right here that wasn't there 50 years ago, but you see every venue doing now because every city has venues. So what you want these guys that are on buses to be able to get out and enjoy themselves. Because we get asked a lot, can I go backstage? And people would be really disappointed backstage. Backstage, there's a bunch of guys eating Doritos, probably hanging out in the boxers. Those artists that you idolize, or everybody looks up to, they're just working a job. That's their 8 to 5. They go to a show, they load out at midnight, they sleep all night, they wake up in the next town. What a lot of cities now are doing to set themselves apart, they're building some comfortable back of the house areas where these guys can park their bikes, they can get out, they can go sit on couches, they can play video games, they can, just unwind for the day. That's not a heavy cost right there, and I think whenever we do start talking about what we're going to do, this is one area to focus on. Modern loading docks and truck access. We probably need 3 loading docks. We have 1. Adequate rigging capacity. Functional dressing rooms and green rooms. production offices, and storage. Then we run into revenue and sustainability infrastructure. There's a lot of stuff, again, 50 years ago, there's probably a lot of cost leaking out of the building because stuff is not up to code or where it needs to be. Premium seating, sponsorship ready spaces and sign, energy efficient HVAC lighting and controls, flexible seating and floor configurations. We have some of that now, but it's not like where we really need it to be at. We're kind of set. We have four models we pretty much go with, and that's pretty much it. And then I'd like to see some recycling built into the guest experience. Other venues, they're coming up with these, they're aluminum cups, but they're recyclable. I'd like to see some recycling. It is important to people. We had a talk last year because I didn't feel like there was enough blue cans out. My team thought I was crazy. So I'm like, you got to put blue cans out. We serve RTDs. Somebody's watching. No, nobody's watching. Sure enough, we get an email. I hope you guys are recycling cans. I see you guys use them a lot. So I would like to figure out a way to marry this recycling into the guest experience. People coming in, they know that we're recycling, they're part of it, and they will feel good with it. And this is one of Daniel's big things right here. Technology and future proof. Sound, lighting, video systems, robust Wi-Fi and cellular infrastructure, access control, broadcast and live streaming capabilities, infrastructure designed to adapt, not to teenage you. That's very important for us. Technology changes. We're big fans of not buying the technology, but leasing the technology where every 3 to 5 years you get the most current thing. It's about the same cost whenever you start figuring out the cost. We're taking some quotes right now on a few things, and it's whenever you work out how much it cost over 5 years versus that technology being dead in 5 years, it's pretty much the same price. So looking ahead, I'll land the plane and answer some questions if anybody has any. Dothan Performing Arts Department isn't just planning events and managing spaces. We're shaping how people experience the city. Our program will elevate quality of life, create shared moments, and ensure that arts and entertainment are not occasional amenities, but a consistent, visible part of everyday life in the community while producing the economic impact. Intentional, high-quality programming turns a venue into a destination and a city into its cultural hub. By investing in diverse, repeatable, and meaningful experiences, we position our community as a place for people to choose and visit, stay, and return to, not just for events, but for culture that surrounds them. I firmly believe in this every day. I'm from Dothan. I moved off. Like I said, went to school, went at Auburn, went to Philadelphia, moved to Atlanta, lived in Chicago for a little while. I came back here, and Troy's heard me say this before. I would be able to do a good job at this wherever I went, but I don't mind working 70 hours a week, doing 65 hours a week, because I am from Dothan, and I love Dothan, and I believe in this stuff that I'm saying because I can see it. You can see, that's one good thing about our job is we can see the impact each time we go, each time we get inspired. You can see what it's doing. More and more people are coming, more people are having a great time, and more people at a younger age are getting exposed to whether it's live music, national touring plays, national touring ballet. We had a national touring ballet tomorrow night. We had a national touring Christmas Carol tour over December. So we're having more and more opportunities that those never had, and the people here are responding. And as long as people keep responding, we're going to keep trying. We do get tired, but we don't stop going. With that, I'm done. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much. Mr. Floyd.
First off, thanks for being here, and thanks for all you guys killing it. It's been obvious just to watch the program, the increase. The term the cultural hub, I'm all excited about that. What is the game plan, or what is the impact? Like, how far away are we drawing people now? And then, what's your hopes and dreams in terms of being that cultural hub of people traveling to come here?
I think personally, I think it's around 80 miles. I know when I was doing concerts at the Crossing, 80% of our people came from the Panhandle, and only 20% of the people that bought tickets there came from Houston County. I spoke with Randy about this recently because there was a time when it looked like we had a lot of shows. It still may happen. We have some competing shows happen around the same time. What I want to do is do a test, and I want to take the market out 60 miles and see when it stops. And then I want to take it out another 20, and I want to try to get to 100 miles and see where it's at. But I think 80 to 100 miles, because you got to look, we got friends that work up in Montgomery at the Impact. It's not really a cultural hub that it was 3 or 4 years ago. I know we're pulling some stuff that Albany used to get, pulling some stuff that Columbus used to get. So I think right now what we're doing is, and you've heard me say this before, I'm not really thinking about tomorrow or the next week. I'm trying to figure out where we're gonna be at 10 years from now. Who's coming behind me to kind of, I don't think we really, I think we're at the start of what we're doing. 10 years from now is when you're really gonna start to see, you know, everything, all the bricks is laid. Yeah, that makes sense. So him first.
Quick question, you said, Dothan last season, what does that mean?
It means it's not a big market, you know, so you think of a big market like Atlanta, and then you think of like the next would be a B market, kind of like Macon, Georgia, and then you get to Dothan and it's a C market. It's just based on the number of people you have there. You know, a lot of people they'll say, bring a show here, when that show will sell out in Atlanta because you got so many people and it's easy to sell 6,000 tickets there. Bring that to Dothan and you don't have the same pool of people to pull from. So that's what it means. It's just based on the number of people you have.
So no matter how nice the civic center or it wouldn't affect classifications.
It would, it's based on people. So one thing to keep in mind about shows is there's a set dollar value. So that artist has to get back to that cost. So you look at somebody like, I think last time Jelly Roll was at 1.5. So he's at 1.5 million a show. So you're obviously never going to get him. You're never going to get a Chris Stapleton here. Even, who was it, 3 Doors Down last year? They were 225 and we couldn't get them. 150 is about what a Civic Center, what the artist cost is for selling. 15,000, 20,000 for the Opera House, just because it's just based on numbers. Outside of that, you can sell the tickets, but the ticket prices are going to increase so much, nobody's going to come. We kind of saw that a little bit with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was $400,000 for 2 shows. So that's the reason those tickets, it's a tighter room, and it's a big space, but the ticket prices go up. So you may sell half the house, but half the house in Dothan, especially where our income's here, they can't afford these $200-300 tickets several times a year. So yeah, it's just based on population.
What's the best place to go to see what the upcoming events are at each one of these venues?
DothanCivicCenter.org and DothanOperaHouse.com. And then the Facebook pages for both. And I think Daniel's working on a performing arts page that'll link back to everything. So possibly by the end of the month, we'll have something like that. We do a lot of marketing too on social media, even if it's stuff that we try to throw everything out. Usually you can see something, but just look at Dothan Civic Center on Facebook too, or Dothan Opera House on Facebook. The park is up under the Civic Center right now, but there's a website for parkdothan.com. Even though it's called Porter Park Events Plaza, we're kind of calling it the park just for the stuff that we do out there. We do some marketing on Digio. We partner with them on the park series, so now we do some marketing on radio with them. Billboards, we do some billboards every month with dirt and outdoor displays. Just shows it's not necessarily a billboard that shows an event, it's just a billboard that shows a running of shows that are coming. Because we just like for the city to be proud to see, hey, there's stuff actually coming. Go him first.
Like,
sir.
Do y'all collaborate with the Clark family over there at the plant?
We don't. We're both good friends with them. Like me and Devers or me and Boyd will text sometimes. Text with John Byers sometimes, especially during what's coming Rockville. So there's a big rock music festival in May in Tampa. Every May. That's usually when Dothan gets the rock shows because those artists are coming back up through Tampa. They're going to go somewhere else, maybe Tennessee. This year, I think we have one on a Sunday. They have one on a Friday the week before. Last year they had 2 and we had 1. So we do have to communicate a little bit, but neither one of us ask each other what we're doing for programming. There's really no nice way to say this. You want to see everybody succeed, but at the end of the day, the city of Dothan is paying me to do a job. So if we get an opportunity to bring in a big show, I'm gonna bring it. Yeah. I even ran against the Peanut Festival these past 2 years. Hey.
Last year, the mayor came and told us everything's been planned, downtown in that area where the civic center is, and there was talk about another civic center type thing being built at some time. Is that still going on, or?
There's talks, and I'll be in those conversations whenever they happen, but as of right now, I don't know anything about them. I just know there's a lot of talks, and everybody's just trying to figure out what we need right now, what we can do. Sir.
Thanks for the great job you're doing. My question is also CDAC.
how's that gonna fit in? Getting the Atlanta Pops Symphony in for Christmas. How does that figure into the equation? Because when I saw some of the stuff you've done, I don't think I saw that come up.
I think, CDAC is actually coming back with Andy. CAC is coming back.
Yeah.
There's still places, and that's, we still take care of the local arts groups. They're still on there. They come every year, so they're always on the calendar. CDAC is back again next year, and then they're back in March 27th. From that point, like we just talked about, I don't know what's gonna happen with the building, where we're gonna go. So they're still back.
But just so it gives a lot of opportunity for a lot of younger people to perform. I like the idea you're talking about busing. That is a great way to increase local artists in a lot of cities.
Yeah.
I see that in a lot of cities. The only thing I would defer to you would be, you ought to look at them being able to receive tips. Because
They do, they just can't, my bad on that, you just
Yeah.
can't, there's ways you gotta phrase it on your box. You can't
Okay,
be like
I thought they were not allowed to, and I was gonna say, that's the only way they bust is for the tips.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they'll be able to, I'm trying to kind of keep that out, because, the city may try to tax them.
Right.
And those local arts groups, and when I first got there, and I'll be candid about it, do take a lot of heat from local arts groups. Because, I was doing stuff completely different, but there's always room, and we always take care, we always make sure we still foster the things that were here before us. Because they were doing stuff before we got here, and a lot of them paved the way, like Music South paved the way for a lot of stuff we're doing right now. I think there's a good opportunity out of that park, and we started writing grants in the past 2 years. They taught us how to write some grants. Holly Myers from our places been working with me. I think there's a lot of opportunity out there to bring kids out there and do music sessions out there, whether it's some kind of 1 hour drum session where you get some drums, or a ukulele session. There's some class opportunities out there to bring kids out there and introduce them to music at an early age. Some kind of different stuff that's not been done, and if that doesn't work, you just shift gears, go with something else. I would like to see some kids learn how to teach. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of grant opportunities. I think one thing that we run into all the time, and I got this answer when I first got there, and I guess the worst answer the world could give me, is why do we do it this way? This way we've always done it. I think that we've fallen too much on the side of, we're going to do this every year, and it's going to work, it's going to work, it's going to work. We're never shifting gears or trying new things. And I think that's what everybody, even the events that's been coming for years, are the same thing. It's time to shift gears. Because you can see the crowds starting to dwindle each year, so it's time to change it up. And that's the reason I've had some of the issues. It's not we're trying to push anybody out. We're going to try some different things, and we encourage everybody to come along with us. But at the end of the day, like I said, I get paid to do a job from the city. I'm going to have to do it.
You mentioned you hadn't been in the planning for a new facility or anything like that, but what would be the ideal size facility?
You want my honest answer? What I know, boy, over years. And I have been in some of the planning. We just don't know where it's going right now. We've taken trips. We've taken another trip in February. We just don't know what it is or what we need or what we can afford. There's still a lot of questions that I don't get paid to make. What I think, and this is based off what I know about Dothan. Dothan is a special place. We're never going to be Birmingham, we're never going to be Mobile, we're never going to be Atlanta. Dothan is a unique place, and it needs a unique venue. I think the perfect size for a concert building is 4,500 to 5,000 people. You're never going to get shows bigger than that. I think it needs to be tight, state-of-the-art inside, and make that experience exceptional. I think that's the sweet spot. I know that's not the glamorous 10,000 seat answer, but I don't know many artists that can fill it.
We don't want to be Birmingham or
I walked the building, my Live Nation rep, he comes and talks about the building and how Dothan doesn't want to be at 4,500. I think 5,000 with the current system is about where you're going to be. And even those artists, right now we're hitting the 3,000 tier artists. You'll be able to go up one more tier. So in like the rock world, you'll be able to get somebody like Shinedown. Country world, I don't know where you get, because those guys jump up so big now, they jump up fast. That's about it.
Quickly, Clay, just tell them how competitive it was and how we were fortunate in Dothan to get the grant that is the park series, and it took community involvement to have it happen, and that means we need a community environment future too.
Yes.
So just tell them a bit how competitive it was and what it took to get that done.
So Levitt Art Grant, my friend and somebody I wanted to work with for a long time and finally do get to work with him, Scott Parsons. You know, he's had live at opera here forever. He's been doing stuff way before us. He brought this to our attention to something called Levitt Art Grant. I don't know if any of you guys saw this. Levitt Art Grant, it goes out to 26 cities, get a certain amount of money each for 3 years. So, for example, Dothan this year gets $28,000 this year, $28,000 next year, $28,000 next year, for a total of $84,000 to do 7 concerts, free outdoor concerts a year. So when you look at it all together, if you max it out with the match, you're looking at $168,000 in concerts free. So me and Daniel and Brittany at the city, we got the information. We all three come from a marketing background. We started figuring out the best way to attack this, because if you're going at this and you're competing with 300 different cities, you better do something where you're just not getting 5 or 6 votes. So we messaged about 50 of our friends or people in the community. We probably left some people out, and I apologize for it. We got them all to make a drop video. We sent them 1 or 3 scripts they could say, and we said, hey, send it back in. And my man over there was getting frustrated because I thought we were done all the time. People were sending the videos. I was cranking them down to him. He was branding them, sending them back, putting them in a folder, and then we were sending them back to everybody. We coordinated an attack. The Levitt Grant came out on a Friday at 2 o'clock. We coordinated with 40 people. Post this on your social media with these tags and this message at 2 o'clock on this Friday. Most everybody got it. We watched ourselves go from number 64 to 30 to 16, and then 2 competing against 300 cities, big cities too. We went to number 1 at one point. It was addicted to watch God. My wife got mad at night in bed because she was trying to sleep, and I was keeping depression. Hopefully we get to 1. But the whole community came out, and the community supported everything. And these are people from all walks of life, all different organizations. And it just shows us again that the community is here, doesn't it? And I know a lot of you people, a lot of you guys and ladies know that. We didn't know that, and we don't forget sometimes how much community support is behind us until we see something like that. Me and Daniel went to a thing called Music Cities Conference in Fayetteville, Arkansas this summer. There was a breakout session on the importance of free concerts in green spaces in your city. We look at it, and it's hosted by the Levitt Grant. So him and I went up, and the lady saw that I was from Dothan and he was from Dothan, and she took us back to her table. She said that she'd never seen a city come together and hit something like the city of Dothan did, and we were legends with her whole crew. And she was right. They wanted us to go out drinking with them that night, but I don't drink, and I was worried that Daniel would say the wrong thing and lose us the grant. So we still don't really know about the grant and what it does. We just really cautious. And it was good that they recognized Dothan too. So at least for 3 years we were caught up with that. For those park concerts too, I've gotten some Alabama State Arts Council grants. We raised about $40,000 in sponsorships for those park series. So there's a lot of community here. There's a lot of people that support, and we just reach out to them and tell them we need some help, and it helps out. Thank you. So if you guys ever want to know anything or anything, I'm easy to find. Look at me on the city of Dothan website, cdmc@dothan.org, or shoot me a message and I'll try to help you out with that second. Thank you again for the support.
Thank you very much, Dempsey. That was fantastic. Appreciate that. Hope to see you again soon. Next week's program brought to us by Rusty Bill, updated Rotary Foundation. I'd like to thank all the guests, visiting Rotarians, and those that helped with the program today. If you will, let's stand. So we'll wait there. Our things, say,
it's there all concerned with the goodwill and better friendship.
Look forward to seeing everyone next Monday.